Happy New Year. Welcome back to another video. It's the first video of the year and I thought I would step out of my comfort zone and go for a bit of an outdoor adventure. So I'm here at Jordan Lake State Park with Odin and I was going to camp, but it's gonna be like 20 degrees Fahrenheit tonight. So I've decided to just enjoy the day since I paid for the campsite and head back tonight. I've got some big things in motion for today. I'm going to be filming 2 of my DJ sets finally. Hopefully everything is working properly this time so I'll be able to film. Yeah, I'm just going to enjoy the day, and to be honest, it's 29 degrees right now and so I really need to make a fire. So let's settle in, get cozy by the fire and enjoy this day in the outside during a cold winter but beautiful and sunny day. Okay, wow. It's not another walk. My hands are ice again. I feel like I'm gonna go through this wood pretty quick. Wow. Time for me to warm up my hands. Wow, you guys, it is so cold. What was I thinking? I can't believe I was trying to camp in the middle of winter. Would have been fine on the red pepper, but in baby pepper, not so much. Even Odin is, his fur from going in the lake is frozen. You gonna put your jacket on? Should I go get your jacket? You hate your jacket, don't you? It is keeping you warm there. You guys, I wanted to take the time in this video with my notes that I made to just share life as of right now. I feel like at the end of last year, I was just kind of like hanging on by a thread. There was a lot of things that I wasn't sharing on YouTube, and yeah, I was a little bit more distant and separated from content creation. And so I've been really just wanting to check in. So this is the beginning of the year. I didn't do a reflection video last year, but I want to just take some time now to share some thoughts and feelings and things that I went through and help you get some clarity as to where I am now and where I'm going, if you even at all are interested. My hope is to inspire you and to encourage you also to grow through whatever may be difficult in your life, because the last 2 years for me were very difficult. Odin, put your jacket on to keep you warm, not for you to go and get wet again. Okay, for the last 2 years, I had such an intense fear of failure, really, with my career moves and with big projects that I was working on. I was also in a chapter of life where I was failing a lot, which is a very weird and uncomfortable place to be. Like when you are not succeeding at things that you're really setting out to do, it just makes such a big impact on your mindset. And I've never really encountered so much failure all at once. He is just actually gonna get his jacket completely soaked. Why are you even wearing a jacket? Why did I put it on you? It was his birthday yesterday. He turned 3 years old. In my multiple years of failures, although I will say selling the house was not a failure. I don't see that as a failure. I see the things that I was trying to do with Moonflower Child to be very repetitive of what I had been doing in the past, and I was trying to avoid doing that. I felt myself kind of slipping into that same pattern of what I was trying to create and sell. There was a really overwhelming shadow of losing myself and not having any kind of clarity around who I was anymore. And in the past, my career has always really defined my being, whether it be Moonflower Child and Meraki and the bus and traveling and this bohemian woman who was selling clothes that I had handmade and jewelry and body oils and self-care goods and supporting other creative makers and curating products in the boutique and stuff and selling online and that was really how I defined myself. And then it shifted into YouTube, and I was filming my family adventures and what we were doing with Red Pepper and the bus. We were like schooly bus people. So much of my self-employed career defines who I am as a person. So last year I really didn't have anything to grasp onto, and I felt like I didn't know who I was anymore. Like, why am I doing anything if it's not like helping me identify myself for myself, really? Last year I battled feeling really pulled in a lot of different directions. I was trying to be creative with Moonflower Child. I was finishing up the house. I was trying to hang on to what creative concepts were coming to mind for YouTube. Odin, come here. Sit on your blanket. You need to chill out with the distance. You're going too far. There's a few other people camping here. Come here, Odin. Make some tea. Stay, Odin. Yeah. All right, let me pour some tea and then we shall continue with this very intense conversation. I don't have tea for you, dude. This is my Bliss Blend tea, and it's a really nice, just like soothing, warming tea if you guys are looking for a new tea flavor. Don't make me put you on a leash. Come here. Odin, right here. So I had, like career goals that I was trying to reach and being very ambitious about those YouTube things, and I had the house I was finishing. I had life things happening. I was really confused as to how I was going to continue making money. I started to apply to different jobs, which I haven't really talked about on here. I was working on my resume for a while, applied to a ton of different jobs. I actually got an interview with one job. I actually got 3 interviews with that one job. They even brought me into the studio, and then the day before Thanksgiving told me that they were moving with other candidates. So that was a little bit disappointing, but I've worked through those motions, and obviously everything is meant to be the way it's meant to be. And so that wasn't a path I was destined to take, and that's okay. But in that period of applying to jobs, I really wasn't being very creative. I was, working on my resume and doing follow-ups and contacting all these different employers and all that kind of stuff. And it was just like very exhausting, time consuming, and like you wait for forever to hear back from anyone, and it just didn't really fuel me in a creative way. Anyways, I continued to feel just like super discouraged because I wasn't getting any jobs. I was getting a couple of like communications back and forth with employers, but nothing was really working out. And so I just realized and thought, you know, well, I'm just like a really difficult person to hire because I've basically been self-employed for my entire working career, and that just doesn't really appeal to a lot of employers. You know, they want to see that you've worked for other people, and I've been, you know, a preschool teacher, I've worked in retail, I've done freelance work, I've done a lot of things, but none of which is a corporate setting, and I was open to it, but again, not meant to be. So since moving out of the house and selling the house, I've had so much admin to just like work through, school for Azalea and summer camps and organizing complicated, really boring business structures for Red Pepper, which is the business that we were running the YouTube under. And then when I reopened Moonflower Child, it was kind of like a DBA, and it felt very messy and confusing. The emails were all over the place. And so I really have been doing a lot of housekeeping and trying to clean that all up. I also really hate dealing with that kind of stuff. I don't know if you guys are like me and like really despise that kind of, just like Google makes things so frigging complicated. Don't even get me started on like Google ads and like Google logins and Google, Anyways, the regular like rhythm and routine was really kind of getting the best of me. My mornings were becoming very busy, packing lunches for Azalea and taking Odin out for a walk now that we're in an apartment, and tidying things up and getting things ready for school in the morning. And it just became a very hectic time in the morning, and like I started to not prioritize myself, and that was very difficult. Also, when we were doing the house renovations, we were so far from town that like it made a really big impact on our mindsets of like not having community right there surrounding us. And honestly, mine and Justin's relationship kind of took a toll where we were both going through some of the darkest periods of our lives. And so neither of us could really be a rock for the other. And that was really difficult. And we went through a few different waves of growing pains, like with Azalea, where she was at one point being very physical and like punching me and just like not really knowing how to release her emotion in a way that was kind and safe and like appropriate. And it was kind of being directed to me, and that's just like a part of her growing. And at that time she expressed that she was realizing that she was sad to be getting older and sad to not be doing certain things with us, and so we kind of worked through that. But on top of that, like, Justin went through a lot of big shifts in his burnout business, and that took a toll also on his mindset and exhaustion level, like working all the time. You know, obviously there was a lot of pressure on him and making money. The YouTube started not doing as well. I started to put so much energy and focus into like making every YouTube video better and like always trying to supersede the last, and if it didn't, I'd be so disappointed in the views and in turn myself, and it became like a numbers game. And then, you know, sponsors weren't as interested, and there's all these different aspects of everything relies on views, and when it's your livelihood, it's just a really difficult place to be in the middle of. So there was a lot of weight and burden on Justin as far as income goes, and then on me, I just was like in this kind of weird place where I saw a recent video on YouTube. A guy described it as the in-between, where it's like you know what you want, but it's not happening anymore, or it's taking longer than you thought to happen. And I've always loved the idea of having a really successful YouTube channel, but I've also never, except for that period of time where we're really gung-ho red pepper and traveling and all that stuff, never prioritized it as like that could be and is my main gig. I've always had a calling to be a creative in ways of like crafting and fashion and style and patterns and drawing and things like that. Anyways, I digress. It was the hardest 2 years of our lives, honestly. Like, nobody really tells you how intense renovating a house is, especially if you're living in it. And there was just like a lot of turmoil that we went through, and a lot of destruction to our independent minds as well as collective minds as a family unit that we've been rebuilding ever since we left the house. And I never thought that that would happen. Like, I always thought buying your dream home is like the best thing that could happen. But it, to be honest, was never really a plan well thought out. It was very spontaneous, and the location for us was off, and there was a lot of things that didn't align. So yeah, renovation videos were really fun to create, but again, it was content that was exhausting to create. It was basically based around like having to constantly renovate and then film and edit all my work. And when it's just me renovating, it just got to be so overwhelming. And so a lot of my self-worth was really wrapped up in my like ability to be successful and succeed in what it was that I was trying to do with YouTube at that time. My body like literally went into survival mode. I went to the doctor to go and talk to them about my irregularity of breath, and they referred me to a heart specialist. Basically, I just needed to de-stress, is what they said. I also struggled with like week-long bouts of vertigo where I was completely debilitated. I couldn't do anything. Like, I'd be standing in the middle of the kitchen and all of a sudden a spell would come on and I'd have to lay down on the ground, and like I couldn't move and the world was spinning around me. That was really, really nuts. I've never experienced anything as crazy as that. Really, we were experiencing just like some of our darkest moments behind the scenes, you know? We were really struggling, and I just haven't been in a space to share about it on YouTube. I've been navigating it independently and trying to like understand it. And honestly, I've been using artwork to really explore those emotions and better understand what's been going on within me, and a part of that has allowed me to understand where I'm going creatively with my career. And you guys know that I changed Moonflower Child to my name, and that feels really good, also very scary. You just want loads of treats, huh? But yeah, it's been really hard to know what I've needed in the last couple of years. So diving into that artwork, which as a cliche, like, you know the answer, it's all within you. Like, the cliche is that my artwork has been what has been allowing me to heal myself again and to find that clarity and peace in who I am and what I want to do moving forward. So this year, now that I have reminded myself that don't lick the microphone. No. That I already know who I am, and that it's rooted like deep within me, and that I just need to open my third eye and be more attuned to that. I want to just be more intentional about finding grounding moments like this and taking priority of my own life and doing things that scare me, that allow me to prove to myself that I can do hard things, that I am capable of epic things in my life. One of my intentions for this year, as I've shared before, I'm very cynical and dark inside. So one of my intentions for this year is to just wake up every morning with more joy and to like find more happiness and make more happiness for myself, really, and like prioritize that for myself. And you know, happiness to some degree is a choice where you can choose to have thoughts that bring joy and lead you towards having bringing you more joy, more positivity into your life, instead of choosing to focus and think on things that are negative, impacting your happiness to bring you less joy. And in the past, I've had a lot of negative self-talk. So I'm working on reframing that and finding more intention to seek out joyful moments in the mundane and everyday life. I created a mood board for the year, just a digital one this time, not like when I did the Chestnut Collective gathering, but I made it on Canva and I popped it up on my most recent blog post. So if you're interested in checking that out, I'll pop the link in the description below. But I want that to be really something that's going to remind me of this new version of self, this new me for this new year that I'm holding on to, and not in terms of like changing who I am as a person, but really like honoring who I know I am and doing the things that make me the person who I aspire to be, rather than just always looking to other people and being like, oh, they have it all, but they do the things that they want to do that allow them to be the person that they are currently. And there's places where I feel I fall short, and so like I'm trying to fully embody the person that I see in my mind as this higher version of self. What does she do? How does she wake up in the morning? Does she seek joy? How does she carry herself? What kind of foods does she eat? How does she speak to herself and others? What kind of activities does she do to realign and ground and center? And what kind of offerings does she have for other people that can help nurture and benefit them in their journey? So that's really things that I've been wanting to embody. The smoke is too much, but I want to be close to the fire.
There you go. Next one. Yes. Now, this is my invisible string. Ding, 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 ding. There you go. Next one. Next one.
Anyways, I'm still unclear on a lot of thoughts that I have from my creative past, but the more I explore, the more I know I'm getting closer to what is authentically true and in alignment to what I'm supposed to be doing here on this world and in this life. I've been creating more jewelry, which you may have seen. I've got a whole jewelry video coming up next month. I've been filming all of the process and the new workspace, and it's been really fun and just like motivating and gets me jazzed. I've also been drawing a bunch, and that's felt really good. Drawing has always been something that has spoken to me ever since I was little. digital art has been a way to create artwork that could easily be rendered into like my woven blankets or art prints or things like wallpaper and other fabric textile surface designs. And doing repeat patterns has really been calling me lately. I love drawing so much, and creating different designs that can be used and find a purpose is more exciting than just like creating a piece of artwork, I guess, in my mind. But I've been working on a zodiac collection, which I foresee as woven blankets and totes and just art prints in general. It's been really fun to work through each zodiac sign and explore what they mean. It's a part of deepening my education and nurturing my potential to connect with other people through better understanding what each zodiac sign represents and what that person embodies as a being. So that's been really cool. All of this is really leading me to where I am now, which is where I'm going to be focusing most of my energy. And if I'm totally honest, the YouTube channel hasn't been a place of me wanting to focus all my energy. I actually thought about just stopping the channel, and in December was planning on not making any more videos this year, but here I am, and I have still felt a calling to create content. I love filming, taking pictures and all that kind of stuff. I also really love having a memoir, something to look back on and like reminisce, and the fact that we can see baby Odin or like baby Azalea or like even baby Juby and Justin. Like, it's really cool to see the transformation and the growth that we've experienced in the years that we've just been documenting on YouTube. So that's really cool. So there are so many things that I'm really excited to create. Like I mentioned, repeat patterns have been really calling to me. That's been fun to think about, like wallpaper designs and fabric and clothes eventually, and things that have prints and designs that I could create. If you're curious about any of that, I definitely suggest that just like signing up to my email list so that you can keep up to date on any kind of new jewelry releases or patterns or fabrics or big projects that I'm working on. I'm going to be putting more of my energy this year into that online space. Also, I don't intend to fully stop making YouTube videos, but what I will say is that I won't be making them as often as I have in the past. My hope is to just let it flow creatively in a way where I create when I'm inspired. So making videos at most like once a month is what right now I feel called to create. That feels obtainable, where I can like not put so much pressure on creating content all the time, because I need space from using the camera and space from editing. I can't even believe I actually used to edit videos like once a week. It's honestly absurd. For like 4 years we did that. Crazy. So yeah, I battled, with whether or not to put down the YouTube channel, and a part of it was really distracting me from being able to grow and thrive into whatever it is that's supposed to come next. And so I think stepping back to one video a month is going to allow me to just continue to share and also create content around what I'm doing that then holds me accountable to make videos for my other creative business things. And yeah, I just enjoy also having a little vlog every now and again. And like, if we're ever camping, it's just such a beautiful memory to have and for Azalea to look back on. And so I do still intend on sharing on YouTube. You probably won't see me as often. Also, wanted to share about this book that I've been reading, Daring Greatly by Brené Brown. If you're looking for something inspiring, this has been a really fun book to read. It literally says on the cover, how the courage to be vulnerable transforms the way that we live, love, parent, and lead. And I've been really inspired. It talks about vulnerability with your partner, vulnerability in business, vulnerability just in general, and like shame, humiliation, and things that don't encourage us to be more vulnerable, but teach us how to become more vulnerable with confidence. And vulnerability can actually lead you to a lot of really amazing opportunities where you put yourself out there. And so I've also been trying to read more before bed, because a part of who I see myself as is not someone who's on her phone as much, not someone who judges herself for being on her phone, but actually just chooses to do things other than be on her phone. And so I've been reading a bit before bed, and that's been really fun to kind of, learn and sleep on it and have something to chew on. And I've just been stepping out of my comfort zone a lot more and challenging myself to get out there, going to different events where I can network and meet people. I'm not really very good at networking and meeting people, and I've never been one to initiate conversation. So going to these events is a great place where I can meet like-minded people and get to know new people that can teach and inspire me things. So that's been really fun, and I've been just like digging into Facebook groups and Instagram posts where I've been finding and exploring new places to meet people. So yeah, that being said, this solo moment is really for me to reconnect to my power, to reconnect to my ability to be a badass woman, to have the faith, confidence, and belief in myself that I'm capable of doing hard things that are scary and difficult, and I don't have anyone else to rely on but myself, and it's really empowering. You know, sometimes we need to unplug from life and challenge ourselves and explore and do adventurous things and go on momcations, which I didn't know was a thing, but apparently it might be a thing. I thought I was really witty in thinking about momcation, but obviously everything's been trademarked. So anyways, so I was setting up my DJ spot at the bottom of the hill, but it is way too cold to be away from the fire, so switching it up. So I found this vegan mac and cheese at the grocery store, and I thought I'd give it a go. And then I also brought a very sad green pepper. No one in the family likes green peppers, but babe buys produce on discount, and apparently these were ready to go, and they need to get eaten because otherwise they're going to get moldy. So I'm just going to throw this on the skillet. Apparently I didn't bring a knife, so that's a thing. And eat some food, film this DJ set, and then I'm not going to lie, I would be fooling myself if I said that I'm willing to stay here with no firewood. I'm burning through this firewood so quickly, and I don't think I'll be able to stay as long as I was hoping to, so I have to be realistic. I'm gonna finish all this firewood and make some lunch, film a DJ set, and head on home. Okay. Yummy. Pretty impressed by this mac and cheese. I get these notifications on this app, comes to my watch, and it's like for affirmations or intentions or mantras to hold on to. The one that just pinged me now is my body is my responsibility, and I do what's best for me.
So let me leave you with this. It's easy to stay where it's safe, to cling to routines, to the versions of ourselves that we already know. But the real growth doesn't happen in comfort zones. It happens when you step into the unknown, when you do things that scare you. This year, I'm choosing to take risks, to challenge myself, to let go of the fear that's held me back for so many years, and trust that I'm capable of more, to truly believe in myself. Moments like this, stepping into the cold, facing discomfort head on, they're not just symbolic, they're a reminder that I can rise from anything, that I don't need to be the same person I was yesterday, and neither do you. If you don't believe in yourself, no one else will. Without that self-belief, you're not going anywhere. But when you start to trust yourself, when you stop holding yourself back, you rise, you grow, you evolve. We all have ashes we're rising from. We all have fears to face. But the only way forward is through the fear, through the doubt, through the discomfort. This year, let's take the plunge. Let's take the risks. Let's do the things that scare us, and let's trust that on the other side, there's a stronger, more grounded version of ourselves waiting to rise.